Maybe we can put these around us.
Let's take our clothes off first before they freeze on us.
Logan's Run pushed boundaries with its futuristic visuals, daring themes, and, of course, its eye-catching costumes. Believe it or not, the original plan was to make them even skimpier. But that idea was scrapped, not for modesty, but because more exposed skin would mean higher makeup costs. Jenny Agutter's outfit, in particular, was one of the most revealing, designed as a sheer fabric draped over her body, held together by delicate chains, and she absolutely hated it. But before we dive into the story behind that barely there outfit, let's rewind to the film that made it happen. Logan's Run was released in 1976, directed by Michael Anderson, and based on the 1967 novel by William F. Nolan and George Clayton Johnson. The film starred Michael York as Logan 5, Jenny Agutter as Jessica 6, Richard Jordan as Francis 7, and featured a small but notable appearance by Farrah Fawcett. The movie was a major production for MGM at the time, requiring elaborate set designs, intricate special effects, and innovative cinematography to bring its dystopian vision to life. The story of Logan's Run takes place in a hedonistic, futuristic society where humans live in a domed city, free of worries, except for one small catch. When you turn 30, you die. This strict control is maintained through the ritual of Carousel, a visually spectacular yet horrifying event where individuals on their last day are supposedly given the chance to be renewed. In reality, they are simply vaporized while the audience cheers. Those who refuse to accept their fate and attempt to escape are labeled as runners, and that's where Logan 5, played by Michael York, comes in. As a Sandman, his job is to hunt down and terminate these escapees. However, through a twist of fate, Logan himself is forced to run, joining forces with Jessica 6 in a desperate bid for freedom. Jessica, played by Jenny Agutter, is introduced as a member of a secret underground network that helps runners find sanctuary. She's brave, intelligent, and resourceful, but one of the most striking things about her character, at least visually, was her revealing costume. The barely there green outfit was designed to reflect the film's depiction of a pleasure-seeking, carefree society. But for Agutter, it was more of a nightmare than a fashion statement. The sheer, almost see-through fabric left her feeling exposed throughout filming, and the entire outfit was held together by a delicate chain that made any sudden movement a risky endeavor. If that chain had broken, well, let's just say there would have been a major on-set incident. The issue wasn't just about modesty, it was about practicality. The film required a lot of movement from Agutter, including running sequences, fight scenes, and even an underwater escape. Trying to perform those stunts in a barely structured costume was a constant challenge. In fact, during the famous scene where Logan and Jessica dive into the water to escape back into the city, Agutter nearly lost her costume altogether. The combination of rushing water and the fragile outfit made for a tense moment behind the scenes, with the costume department scrambling to make last-minute fixes between takes. Even Michael York recalled how difficult it was for her to manage the wardrobe challenges while focusing on the performance. Beyond the wardrobe struggles, the entire production of Logan's Run was filled with challenges. The special effects team, led by L.B. Abbott and Glenn Robinson, had their work cut out for them. The elaborate carousel sequence, where participants float into the air before being incinerated, was one of the most technically complex stunts of its time. A massive circular rig had to be built above the set, with wires attached to the stunt performers to create the illusion of levitation. However, during early test runs, the wires became tangled, forcing the crew to halt production and redesign the entire system. To prevent further accidents, each performer was assigned a separate winch, with an emergency kill switch in case of entanglements. Even then, The performers were nervous about being suspended midair with explosive effects going off around them. Michael York, who played Logan 5, initially had reservations about taking the role. At the time, he was an established actor known for films like Cabaret and The Three Musketeers. He wasn't sure a sci-fi film was the right move for his career. However, a younger actor who was driving him to rehearsals read the script and convinced him otherwise. "You've got to do this," he told York. "You don't understand how relevant this story is." That single conversation changed York's mind, and he accepted the role that would become one of his most iconic performances. Farrah Fawcett's role in the film, though small, was significant for her career. She played Holly 13, an assistant at a cosmetic surgery clinic where people could alter their appearances at will. At the time, Fawcett was not yet a major star, but her appearance in Logan's Run coincided with her rising fame from Charlie's Angels, which debuted just a few months later. Interestingly, it was Michael York himself who suggested Fawcett for the role after spotting her playing tennis. Struck by her beauty and presence, he recommended her to the casting team, and the rest is history. Roger Ebert gave Logan's Run a mixed review, calling it a vast, silly extravaganza that delivered fun but lacked depth. Gene Siskel was even harsher, describing it as unquestionably the worst major motion picture he had seen that year. However, audiences embraced the film, and it became a box office success, earning $25 million and securing its place in sci-fi history. It also won a Special Academy Award for Visual Effects and 6 Saturn Awards, including Best Science Fiction Film. And let's not forget the legacy. Logan's Run inspired a short-lived TV series in 1977, a Marvel Comics adaptation, and decades of influence on pop culture. Plans for a remake have been in development for years, with directors like Bryan Singer and Nicholas Winding Refn attached at different points. While the project remains in limbo, fans continue to speculate on how a modern version might update the story for today's audiences. As for Jenny Agutter, she may not have loved her costume, but she has since embraced her sci-fi legacy. However, she still avoids conventions, possibly to escape seeing fans recreate that infamous green dress. And honestly, who can blame her? Now, it's time to hear from you. Have you seen Logan's Run? What do you think of Jenny Agatter's barely there costume? And if Hollywood ever gets around to that long-rumored remake, what changes do you think they should make? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.